Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and let me just say this from the onset. I believe in the law. I believe in law enforcement. I don't always believe in the way the courts look at things. You know, I've been married for 46 years to the same gal. And, you know, I'm leaving preseason, and I leave about 5:30 in the morning for practice, and I get up, I'm dressed, ready to leave, and she rolls over and says, you know, I really think you love football more than you love me. And it's 5:30 in the morning now. And I looked down at her, I didn't know what to say, so finally I went, pro or college? And with that, she threw something, and I spoke to her a little bit later. You know, after every season, I sit down with the football team. I bring each individual in, and I talk about really 5-4-3, I call it. You know, I'm proud of you. I believe in you. I need you. And even though with the season we've had, you know, you can't say yes to every one of those questions about every player. But I can say yes, I'm proud of you, I believe in you, I need you about law enforcement. And again, I can't say enough good things about you. Being Irish Catholic from New York City, my folks came off Ellis Island and they either became policemen or firemen. Most of them became policemen. All right, so I have a bunch of relatives that are in the police force up in the city. My older brother was president of the detectives out in Suffolk County. So I have a great feeling about what takes place and what you people have to go through, all right, as far as your job is concerned. But, you know, the big thing about this game of football, you know, we were 12-1 this year, but prior years, we won 11 games, we won 10 games, so it just didn't happen. But the difference in this year was TV, a national exposure going to the new American Conference. And again, that's what the difference is. You can spend all the money you want on marketing, you can't beat the 3 hours you get on ESPN. That's what the difference. I thought the city of Orlando handled it very well. I know there's a bunch of Florida fans here, Florida State fans here, but you live in the city of Orlando. I am not as good a dancer as the sheriff, but I fake it real well. But I think the big thing is this, that, you know, I look at football, I've been at this now this is my 46th year coaching. You know, as I was telling the table there, I have a box at the games that we play at the Bright House Stadium, and my wife is up there usually with the family, and she comes down and waits for me after the game, and whether we win or lose, all right, you get people that have to complain. And she comes down the one time and she says, you know, did you change your name? I said, no, I didn't change my name. What kind of question is that? She goes, well, those people in the elevator were calling you a lot of different things. And I think, you know, the game of football, no question, is the most popular in the country. All right, everybody has an opinion. You know, talk show radio, I think, does a great job. Everybody voices their opinions on Monday. I hear them all the time. But you know what's important? You know, I call them the FIWs. The faceless internet weasels. You don't use your God-given name. I don't pay any attention to you as far as what's going on, but I do appreciate the job that enforcement does, law enforcement does in Florida, in the city of Orlando. I think you have a very tough job, all right? But I always go back, even with the players I have, I blame the parents. I blame the parents, and there's no question about that. I had a mother call me up the other day, and it's hard to get to me on the phone anyway. You gotta go through 3 secretaries. And she was complaining that her son wasn't getting enough PT. And I'm going, PT? I thought it was physical therapy or something like that. And she said, no, playing time. I said, ma'am, this is not Little League. You know, and I have grandchildren, and I went to see a game, and, you know, they weren't keeping score. And I said to my sister, my daughter-in-law, I said, why aren't they keeping score? She goes, well, everybody wins. Everybody doesn't win. I said, don't you think those little kids are keeping score? They know who wins. You know, I'm a firm believer that competitiveness is the key. I think our parents, our grandparents had the right idea about there's nothing beats hard work, all right? I think handouts are over. I think there's too much of that going on in this country right now. I do think that basically, no, I'm not running for office. But I do think this is that basically that you have a tough job, and I respect what you do. I really do. I think it's tough. I think the way the laws are written today's society, I think it's very difficult. Your jobs become tougher. But again, there's a lot of people that believe in what you're doing and how you're doing it. Don't change. Don't change. You're doing the right things the right way. You know, my mom and dad are from the other side over in Ireland, and she was walking there and she saw a scroll. And the name of the scroll was Why Worry? And she thought of me when she bought it. And the scroll goes like this. There are two things to worry about. Either well or you're sick. If there's nothing to worry, if there are two things to worry about. You're well or you're sick. If you're well, you have nothing to worry about. If you're sick, you have two things to worry about. You either get well or you will die. If you get well, you have nothing to worry about. And if you die, you have two things to worry about. You either go to heaven or hell. If you go to heaven, you have nothing to worry about. And if you go to hell, you'll be so damn busy shaking hands with friends, you won't have time to worry. And, I always wondered why my mom thought of me when she bought that. And it's the profession we're in. But again, I love the game of football. I'm getting to that age now where you gotta look at what's gonna happen. But you know, I've always said to my wife and that, you know, when I go to work 2 days in a row, and I don't know what I'm doing, that's probably time to give it up. Now, I've had a lot of 1 days, all right? I haven't had 2 yet, but again, I think we're coaching and playing the greatest game of them all, football. As far as the challenge that you have on the field, the carryover into later life, I think it's just outstanding. You know, I get to the point, I deal with problems every day for 120 players. And finally I got to the point, I just got tired of listening to the lying, to the reasons why they screwed up. So I have a board behind my door, and it lists all the mistakes you could possibly make. Overslept, car wouldn't start. So the kids come in now, I just say, stop, just pick one. So the first time I did it, kid comes in, sits down, I said, I don't want to hear it, just pick one. He looks at the board, he goes, 3, 6, and 7. But I think today our job is to help the youth of America, all right? A lot of times it's a lot of parents that aren't supportive of their children. They don't follow up on their children. And as I tell the athletes when we recruit them, I only promise them one thing: I'll make sure they graduate, and I make sure I keep in touch with their parents to make sure they know what's going on. I call it a family scholarship, all right? And again, parents, I put every kid in summer school. I sent 5 kids home this past year because I didn't think they were making good enough effort and doing the things they're supposed to be doing. Got calls from the parents begging me to take them back. They didn't want them home. I said, it's your son. I say, send him home for a reason, and that's where he stayed until the second session. But I'm a big believer in we do the right things. I think this room here, no question, you're doing the right things as far as this country's concerned, all right? And things will turn out well. Now, as far as the football program, I thought we had a terrific year. Obviously, Blake Bortles, everybody's asking me questions about him. He's going to go early in the draft, all right? He'll go early. Again, the Houston coaches both, you know, worked with me and actually coached 2 of them. But, you know, that doesn't really matter. I think he's earned the right to, he'll go in the first 3 rounds or 4 rounds. I'm just looking at the new Blake Bortles wing. once he does go. And again, you know the sport that gives back to athletics in college? It's not football, it's not basketball, it's golf. When you look at all these schools throughout the country, it's the golf players that give back to their school. College football players think they're still on scholarship. There's some graduated 10 years ago, they're still calling me for tickets. So I try to tell them that's not the way you get things done. But I think we're coaching a great profession. I think you guys are in a great profession. And again, I'll say again, I'm proud of you, I believe in you, and we need you. Again, continue a great job, and anything we can do at UCF to help, give us a yell. I think you got great administrators, which I think the key to anything is great leadership. Not a good dancer, but great leadership. And again, I read the papers all the time when I get a chance, and he takes a good picture too. So I'm very proud of him and what's happening. But again, thank you for having me here. And again, go Knights, and don't be afraid to get up there. We have a great schedule. We open up in Ireland. Well, I'm going to get, I guess someone told me this morning, we'll get the bagpipes over and put us on the plane. I appreciate that. Who was that? Right there. I'm going to hold you to that. All right? But again, get in there. Even if you're a Gator, Seminole, Hurricane, you live in Orlando, so be a Florida Knight, a Gator Knight, or Seminole Knight. Appreciate all the help we can get. Thank you very much.